All right, this is episode 97 of Real Estate Fight Club. Welcome to another episode of Real Estate Fight Club. My partner, Jen Merlin, how you doing today?
Girl, I just went to Colorado.
And
I am happy to be back in Ohio.
you didn't like the Colorado so much.
I know I'm going to get a lot of shade and grumpy messages, but it's just like, I realize like I'm an indoor cat and I'm like a flat city girl. Like it's too much. It's too much.
Now, for our Colorado listeners, can you please say something nice about the state?
It's beautiful.
Okay. So good to look at.
Yeah, I just couldn't breathe, and like there's too many outdoor activities. And then like I got my to-go coffee in a jar. I was like, what is this? Can I have a cup? Like, what are we doing?
Sustainability, baby. Sustainability.
Good. Go Earth. Yes.
Go Earth. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us for another round of Real Estate Fight Club. We appreciate you being here. And today, Jen and I are going to duke it out over this question. What is the best structure for a team? Oh, dear God, help us. I want you to go
first.
Dear God, help us.
If people don't know, Monica was the team leader for our Keller Williams office. So I know you have seen some shit.
I have seen behind the scenes of the team because the team sounds like an amazing idea.
Oh, it's so good. You can make so much money.
Yeah, leverage through people. Leverage through people. Never mind that you don't freaking know how to manage people. All you know how to do is sell real estate. Stay in your damn lane.
True that.
I do. I feel strongly about this. I very rarely see a high functioning team where everybody is benefiting and the team leader is actually making more money and working less. Mm-hmm. It's a unicorn when it happens. I will say, I am sure there are several in the United States. I have not personally seen one that I would point to and say, wow, excellent, high functioning team. So I'm not a fan. I think you can leverage, if your goal is more money, you can leverage by running parallel with people. Mm-hmm. You can raise your standards. You can change things. You can change your price point. You can do things to accomplish that. If your goal is to work less, there's not a scenario in the world where a team causes that to happen.
No.
And if your goal is just to build your ego and feel good because you have the word and team and you have 4 mouths that are, you're responsible for, and that feels good to you, then have at it. Just consider that you're ruining everybody's life around you for your ego. Yeah, you are. There are so few buyer's agents, for instance, that are ideal for that role. They're either under talent, like ill-equipped, and they are going to fail, or they're super talented and they're going to fly out of there in a year when they realize they can do this on their own. Very few, and I do know some, they're just excellent buyer's agents and they're just meant for that role and it's just perfect for them. Right. And I do know a couple, few and far between. Right.
I think like the old way of building a team, right? Like the MREA book, and I know a lot of people have read that, is kind of like the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. I feel like that's like, I like the concept and I like the idea. And I just think it's like an old way of doing it. So obviously like our team is called Team Synergy, as you know. Okay. And I came into it wanting to have like a team, like create a business, all this stuff. And we've tried 1,000 ways. And what I learned is it is very time consuming. And to what your point originally, it's like, I'm a salesperson and I've had other management roles. I just don't like managing people. People are annoying. Right. Like, do your freaking job, man. Why are you, what do you want?
Right. I mean, Alan, your business partner, is a unicorn. The idea that you can have somebody like Alan to rely on and he just wants to do his thing and like,
well, we were getting there. But that was like an evolution, right? Like that's 6 years in the making, and we are actually business partners. Right. Like he was on my team, but now we are partners. Right. And that's totally different. And it took 6 years to get there. It wasn't yesterday we decided, oh, let's be partners. This is what I see most often. Well, we're both new. Or I've been in the business for 2 seconds and I want to help other agents. Like, come on.
Oh, this idea that you've been in the business for a year and you're building a team,
Dumb.
it upsets my stomach. It really does. It
As a matter of
causes
fact, you're
nausea.
feeling nauseous right now.
Yeah, because I could save them an entire year or 2 of their lives if they
Yes.
would just listen. And they won't because they need to experience it. I get it. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Here's what ran into. So I think the biggest our team is maybe like 12 people or something like that.
That's huge.
It was big, but we
Yeah.
weren't, it was actually taking me away from doing deals because I also had to manage them. So then I was thinking to myself, okay, well, why don't I get like somebody to manage the people? But it's just like, it's too complicated and it's very expensive. And I'm like, okay, so I can pay somebody to do this and still net the same, or I can get them, remove the headache and net the same. Like which one is better for me? And so I opted to remove the headache.
Right.
And then it was easier. And as you know, I left the country and it's still able to work and do all this stuff. But if I had a team, that would have been much more difficult to do because it's all these people all the time and they're all needy. It's like having a bunch of toddlers. How many toddlers do you actually want at one time? None?
It's so true. And listen, guys, there's a solution for what you're trying to do. And I don't want you to get discouraged and think, oh, I have to be an individual agent my whole life. No, you can partner, you can leverage, but run parallel with people instead of inviting them in under an umbrella that you're then responsible for.
Well, tell us more about that. I 100% agree with that. And that's what I came to find out because it was like, I thought that in order to be successful, it meant a quantity of people. And then I'm good at math and I realized that math doesn't work. And so then I was like, wait a minute, I had to change my definition of success. And I was like, success means to me is money in my pocket so I can do the investments that I want. And then I was like, okay, well, the most amount of money is how we have our team set up now, which is me and Alan as our partners. And then we have a transaction coordinator who also inputs the listings. And that's it. But literally our expenses are $3,500 a month. That's it.
Because your transaction coordinator is a cost of sale, not an expense.
Right.
Big difference.
But I'm saying if you add all of that up, that's it. That's really low for the amount of business that we do.
For sure.
And it was a
what
lot.
You said, what is the secret? You said that you had to define your own success so that you could, what in essence that is you getting clarity around what you want.
Right.
Defining success, getting clarity, whatever. I can't help anybody, and you and I can't help anybody unless we know what exactly do you want? What are you trying to do with this team? Because there are probably 6 other ways to do it with a lot less expense and headache. And so if you are, hey, I want to have boundaries in my business. I want to work, reasonable, whatever. I want to have every Saturday off, or, hey, I want to make $200,000 a year. Next year, I want to make 250. All right. There are 400 different strategies to achieve that. Right. Instead of bringing on responsibility, you're just weighing yourself down. It's actually the opposite.
Yes. What you're trying to do mostly.
That's right. Yeah. So the number one thing is get clarity on what you want. And first of all, you can't be a great leader unless you have that. So you have no business bringing people in unless you're freaking clear. Right. I did interview talk to an agent once who had a team and they're doing really well. And she doesn't know what the hell she wants. I'm like, you're on a ship in the ocean and you don't even know
where you're going.
Right. And you're lucky you got these people floating around with you, but how long is that going to last?
Right. Exactly.
Right. And what are the chances of you getting there?
Yeah.
So clarity on what you want for sure. And then we can decide what's the best leverage. Is it transaction coordinator? Is it a showing assistant? Is it simply putting standards in place? Is it upping your sale price? Is whatever.
Right. But even with people, like you were talking about running parallel. So some of we do that now. So it's like, okay, if I have a seller or a buyer or whatever, instead of having people on my team that are part of team synergy and I'm responsible for them and all this, there's all this expectation and all this BS. It's like, okay, I can handpick the person that I think is going to be best for this. And then I partner with them on that or I refer to them or whatever. Right. Exactly. And then if there is somebody new, like, well, there's a couple of brokerages like ours, and that we can bring people in and we can help nurture and train them
Right.
under our system, and they can
Right.
still use the Team Synergy stuff like as they're getting going. And I financially benefit from that, but they're not on my team. They are still their own. So when they are ready to fly on their own, there's no heartbreak around that.
You got it. That's exactly right. I have a team of 82 agents. I
Mhm.
literally have a team at EXP
Mhm.
of 82 agents. I care about them. I offer them help and
Yep.
coaching, whatever. I show up that way, but I am not responsible for feeding them.
Right.
I support them however I can. I am
Yes.
benefiting from them. So yeah,
Yes.
I'm running a
Of
team,
course.
but
Yeah.
it's team 2.0 and the old team that's outlined in that MREA, which has a lot of great points,
Mhm.
that has been proven again and again not to actually be
It
all that
doesn't.
viable.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree. It's too
Th-
expensive. We
yeah.
were finding that running the bigger teams, because the pool is to pull new agents, because what happens is the agents that know what they're doing, they will end up leaving. Like, why are they splitting the money with you?
Right.
You're not providing enough service for them to share the money, right? Most of
Nope.
the time. I mean, sometimes you are. There
Right.
are a few exceptions, but on a whole, you're not. And so they end up
Correct.
leaving. So then the idea is, okay, well, let's pull in new agents. But the problems with new agents is 85% of them or more are going to leave anyway.
Yeah. And
And
imagine the time that you have to spend on babysitting.
there's such a drain on resources, because then you either you're answering their questions, which what is that taking you away from? Probably generating leads. Or you're paying somebody to answer the questions, which what is that taking them away from?
Mm-hmm.
It's just a
Mm-hmm.
lot of
Exactly.
money for no reason.
It's
Blah, blah, blah,
very
blah.
true. It's very true. But please don't be discouraged thinking, well, I can't accomplish what I want to do. Yes, you can,
You
for
can.
sure.
Yeah.
I think Jen and I are both in alignment here that take a second, take a pause and really consider all your options, get grand clarity on what you want, like your 1 year, 3 year and 5 year vision of this. And like
Well,
ultimately,
what do you want the outcome to be? Like, why are you in real estate? Like, for me, I realized I'm in real estate because I wanted to buy investment property. I like the investment side of it. So,
yeah,
in order to do that, I have to net the most amount of money. In order to net the most amount of money,
you got to be
having
lean, mean.
yes, exactly.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Well, and quite frankly, the secret that is widely understood is that a lot of these big teams that get up on the stages and are interviewed, their lives are for shit. Their marriages are for shit. Their net income is not
It's terrible.
not what you think it
They only
is.
talk about gross.
That's right, and they're miserable. It's all ego.
Yeah,
It's
which
all
is
ego.
fine. If you want to have
Listen,
ego, that's
right.
okay.
We've all got it. We've all
Yeah.
got it. But when ego is making your decisions, I think you really do have to reflect on that. You have to be super honest. Do I just like the idea of my name in lights? Do I
Right.
like the idea of being responsible for people? Well, take a pause, because that's not just about you. That becomes about everybody,
Right.
that you bring into your cycle. Your
Or
crazy
I hear
cycle.
a lot of people are like, well, I just want to help other agents. What do you say to that? I have a lot to say
Yeah,
about
I say that's just a big crock of shit. Help them then.
then
Help
help
them
them.
by being their own agent. That's actually helping them, not
Yes.
feeding them, teaching,
Yeah.
show what is it?
Well, first of
Show
all, I want to be like, you've been in business for 1 second. Like, what are you doing to help? Well, I know you know more than them, but like, that is the brokerage's job
Mhm,
to do that.
mhm.
Or like, yeah, they're their own. Like, them being on your uneven foundation is not evening it out.
Yeah, that's so true. Do you pay people to show houses for you when you can't, if Alan's not around?
We have before, but no,
Yeah,
I don't
I do
really.
it all
I've
the
done it
time.
one time. We have friends and we call in favors. What do you mean?
Well, and I know, and you've done that for me too, and I would of course do that for you. But in the absence of that, I will freaking pay somebody. It is a cost of sale. It's fine.
Yeah, I think we've talked about this before.
We have.
I
I just did it
agree.
yesterday. I just did it yesterday.
Oh God, I don't want to talk about this again. We
Yes,
need to
but it's
help each other. Be
leverage.
nice.
No, but I know, but it also is a solution for somebody who wants a team. Get a
That's true.
bench. Get a
Like, instead of
bench.
a buyer's agent and
Right.
bring on like an agent, then it's yeah. Well, and I find a lot of people when they start teams, they don't actually have their processes and systems in place. And
Hmm.
they're thinking that like having the thing about having a team, it's like that shines a light on what the hell's wrong with you.
Yeah, for sure.
And
Because
you're
you got
gonna find
eyes.
out there's a lot.
Yeah, it's so true.
I don't know. Should we get back to our corner?
I think so. I think
It's time.
we've beat down the team idea enough. It's like, it's dead.
It's dead.
Dead.
All right. Well, let us head back to our corners, take a short break, and hear a word from our partners. And when we return, we will have the final punches.
Welcome back. Let's get back inside the ring and close out our final round. But first, Jen, did you talk to people about this, or do we have an interview? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, tons of people, everybody's all over the map, right? Like, people think there's a fallacy among agents, and exactly what you said. It's like, if I have a team, then I can have more freedom and more money. And then they find out like that's not happening.
Correct. Correct.
So.
Please remember that we did not say 100% of the time. We understand there are teams that are functioning pretty freaking well, and that's great. They're just few and far between. They just don't.
Agreed. Yeah. All right. What's your 1 minute? Is that it?
I think that is my 1 minute is this. Unless you are crystal freaking clear on where you're going and have extreme clarity on what you want out of this business and in your life, you have no business bringing somebody else into your orbit. It's just not responsible. So if you know that a team is the only way for you to achieve what you want to do, then okay, go for it. Mm-hmm. But once you have that clarity, then you can look at the options, talk to people who have run teams, call Jen, call me, call anybody, and really spend time on this. This is a big deal. This is an important decision. It's not to be done like one night while you're watching TV. Tomorrow I'm going to start a team. Like, it's just not fair.
Start hiring agents.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I agree. I think
Pop-Tart team.
Yeah, right. It's just about like talking to people. It's listening, really listening to what they're saying, and you'll find the commonalities.
You got it.
I like it. Cool.
Is that your closing statement?
That's it. Boom. You did it.
Wow. Mic drop. All right. I think that's going to have to be the end of today's beat down on teams battle. Mm-hmm. If you enjoyed this episode, if you feel strongly either way, if you disagree with us, we are open to that. We love good, healthy conversations about stuff. As you know, that's the basis of this podcast. So go to our podcast page or our Facebook page, Real Estate Fight Club Podcast, and let us know what you think.
Oh yeah. And join us on Clubhouse at Thursday, noon Eastern to fight with us. It's super fun. And if you liked it, please share this episode with a friend and colleague. And of course, if you're interested in learning about EXP and the benefits and why all the teams are going there.
They are. And there are some real advantages for teams here. And there are teams coming and then dissipating because of the new team structure that you can have here.
Well, it was an eye opener for sure. Feel free to give me a call or text 513-400-1691. All right. Thanks, Monica.
See you next time, Jen.
Bye.